everyone, and welcome back to Teaching Natural. My name's Dare. I am a 5th year high school English teacher, 3rd year avid teacher in SoCal or Southern California. Classroom setup. It's time. I've already written down my to-do list. These are the main things I need to do. Earlier you will have seen a clip of where my classroom is at right now, and thank goodness all of my desks are basically how I left them. Maintenance / our custodial staff did come in, they vacuumed, they cleaned. My floors look amazing after the trash they were at the end of last year. Like, my floors look amazing. I'm so thankful for them. And so I don't have very much to do just because my desks are already done and like my bulletin boards are already done. I swear, 75% of classroom setup is just your bulletin boards and your furniture. Where are those things going? And so since those things are basically already set up for me, it's just taking things out of where I stored them last year and getting them started. So the first thing I'm going to start with actually is going to be the books in the bookshelf, because I want to get those back there. There's a few things I want to film today. And so we'll get started there. I am sweating. Like, moving the books from the storage cabinet where I had them because we were doing summer school and I didn't know if they were going to use my room for summer school. And obviously I don't want my stuff to go missing while I'm not here teaching. So I put them in that cabinet, and walking them the maybe 20 feet from my front of my board, right over there to here, exhausting. I'm sweating. I am not in teacher shape whatsoever, but I wanted to show you what everything's looking like as a reminder of how my library system works. Okay, so here is my library. I just use stickers from Amazon. They are linked in my first classroom setup. I can try and link them again if I remember. But red, teen drama / romance, all of that kind of stuff. Blue is fiction, sci-fi is orange, horror / mystery is green, adventure and thriller yellow, and then nonfiction / biography is brown. And to help my students remember, I have this whole little library genres up here for them. They have their library checkout sheet, which will just ask them, the title of the book, who's checking it out when they checked it in, sticker color. And then something that I think every teacher should do is a book of the month or something like a book recommendations. That way students see that you are a reader. And in this case, I'm starting off with Holes because it's a really good one to get them back into the love of reading and letting them know, hey, Holes was one of my favorites from middle school, so they might like that. I always have my classes pick a reading goal that, all my classes are gonna work towards, and so this is just how I keep track of it throughout the week. That way, when we have their reading goal, it'll go up here. I will be filling up the thermometer, and then in this blank space here, I'll write what they read for semester 1, what they read for semester 2, so that I can add it all up. I'm pretty sure last year they read like 100,000 pages. And that was freaking awesome because a lot of students talk about how they do not like reading, how they don't have a love of reading anymore. So that's kind of what this area is looking like. I don't know if anybody has told the wider community of teachers, but my mentor teacher told me something about emergencies that has just been so helpful. Your school should give you like an emergency backpack or something that you're supposed to carry with you when you do fire drills, evacuation drills, things like that. And it is either blazing hot for no reason, or it is rainy for no reason. So my mentor teacher told me to do this. Have a good umbrella that has your name on it. It is big, so it's easy to see. It's a bright color, so again, it's easy to see. And I put my name because my room number has changed. I've had this umbrella since I've started teaching, so it's come with me through the 3 schools that I have taught at in my teaching career. And so because I am relatively, normal sized, I'm 5'5", it is very easy for students to lose me in the thrush of students. And so having something that will protect you from the scorching heat or the ice cold rain, because those are the only 2 times fire drills and emergency evacuations happen, is just when the weather is not being kind. Make sure you have something like this so that it's easy for your students to see you, but also you are protected from the elements. And then when we get to our evacuation spot and I have to fill out the card, I'll usually just have a student hold it up for me until I finish filling out the card. That way, if a student gets lost, they can see me. And it's just super easy. So I'm glad my mentor teacher told me to get a cheapy umbrella. I got this from Amazon. I think it was like 2 for maybe $20. And so one became my regular umbrella that I use all the time in my car. And this one became my emergency umbrella. So bless my mentor teacher for telling me that. Almost done with the counter setup. I thought I had, so you can see this little label, all these labels here. There. I thought I had one for absent work, but I guess I did not. And so here's a teacher tip for high school and departmentalized middle school and elementary school teachers for absent work. If you have multiple preps, meaning that you teach different classes or different levels of a class. So for example, I have 3 preps. I have Honors English 9, College Prep English 9, which is the basic regular English. And then I have Avid. And so it doesn't matter how many classes of each prep I have, it's just that I have multiple preps. So for absent work, instead of having kind of those long files, which take up way too much space and don't really work if you have more than one prep or more than one class, I use these expanding file folders. And so what I just do, this is also like back when we used to have paper that we needed to like take home and grade and stuff like that. I used to use these so that the papers wouldn't get crumpled in my backpack or whatever. I no longer take things home to pretend that I'm going to grade. So I will do, when I do my video on how to set up a classroom, I'll talk about the process of like where your work goes and the things you kind of do. But for multiple preps, I print out this little label on sticker paper. I will, once I remove the staple sticker, I will just put this little label there. And these have 7 pockets. Yeah. So students will, the first tab is going to say agenda. And so that will be what the agenda was for that week. If you haven't seen my week at a glance video, check that one out in my classroom. No, it's not in my classroom setup. I'll figure out a playlist for it, but week at a glance, I will print that week at a glance, put it in here, and then each folder will be a day of the week, and I just clean it out every Monday. But this is really easy so that students don't have to ask me, what did I miss? Where did I go? They're going to have a little label here that's going to say absent work. I will put folders, so they just got to find their class, go right in, boom, there's their copy. And then these will be sitting, oh, they fit perfectly in here. Oh, they'll sit in there the whole time. So I'll keep you updated on that. So that way, if a student's absent, I'm going to train them the first few weeks. But if a student is absent, they should never come to me and say, what did I miss? Or where is this thing? Because it's all going to be in there. The only time they'll need to come to me about absent work is if I accidentally forget to put it in there or clean it out. And they say, like, Miss B, this is last week's. I'm like, oh, shoot. Sorry, you're right. But this makes it so much easier so that you don't have 50 million students coming up saying you're absent, or you don't have students who will wait through the entire lesson. And then once you've done the instructions, say, oh, I was absent, I don't have the paper. And it's like, why didn't you say anything before? So taking kind of that responsibility off of myself, putting it onto my students, which is a big thing for high school, teaching them, you know, how to advocate for themselves, how to be self-sufficient learners. So I think it looks really good when it goes up there. I'm going to print out the label. I have the blue background cardstock paper already, but it's going to look really good. And I don't have to worry about where they're putting their absent work. Okay, it is an hour and 45 minutes, so basically 2 hours later, and we're looking pretty darn good on this checklist. I am definitely going to get my complete room set up today, which is awesome because that means that I can then spend this rest of the time planning curriculum and getting copies made. So you'll have seen the side counter, what that's looking like. I showed you the absent folders, which I do need to make the actual label for, but that's fine. I can do that, you know, when we come back for pre-service next week. The bookshelves are ready to go. So now I'm going to start on the schedule because that is going to take me a while, only because me and my handwriting, we have a tussle, but also I have hit an aesthetic problem. So I'll take you on over to where we're going. Okay. So here's my aesthetic issue. You can see I have my labels right there. I do not have a fourth period, which means that I also don't have a first period. So at my school, we have 7 periods total. A teacher will teach 1 through 6, or you will teach 2 through 7. I am teaching 2 through 7, and my prep is period 4. So I like to line the schedule cards up by the color that my class is, because everything in my class is color coded. And that's one of the tips I'll share on how to set up your classroom when you're picking your class colors and procedures. Color code, like give your students something. So my students know if it's pink, it is whatever period I teach first. So that's second period. If it's gold, third period, so on and so forth. So I'm going to have fourth period as gray, and then I'm going to have another gray one down here at the bottom. I just kind of have to live with it. Does it matter? Do my students care? No, it's more an aesthetic thing that I will care about, maybe the first week of school. By the time we actually get into it, I'm not going to care. So I can just let that go right now. RIP knowing my bell schedule by heart, because there we go, focus. I am not going to remember the middle hours because our schedule just goes off the rail, but it's cool. We doing what we doing. It's fine. So there's the bell schedule. That's another thing off my list. Okay, so next thing I'm going to work on are the student desks. Again, they are basically where they need to be. I just need to fix a few of them and then put the chairs out. So last year I used, where are they? I had spent time making these cute little seat labels. This is gonna go under my classroom fails. A video that I'm gonna be making. So I made these cute little labels that had their table number, their seat, and this is what I use to do seating charts, and it's also what I use to like randomly volunteer students to answer a question or to do something for me. So I'll say, seat B, go grab all the books for your table, or seat A, go ahead and put away your supplies for your table. And it was cute in theory. The problem is that students were so rough with the labels that they really did not survive the entire school year. They maybe survived the first semester looking nice, but also students like to draw on them and just wreak havoc. So I'm not gonna waste time making new labels because I had to throw them all away because they were just a mess. Some got lost. What I'm gonna do instead is bright sticky note. That way I can replace them very quickly, very easily, and it's not costing me a whole lot of money to do so with, buying cardstock paper and laminating and cutting and just all of that. So I'm just gonna use these sticky notes to write A, B, C, D, and then if I have a table of 5, write E on them, tape them. If they get ripped off, which I know they will, cool. I'll just say, student, grab sticky note, grab the permanent marker, write the label, put it on there. So I'm gonna write these out, and then I'm going to use packing tape, just one clean thing over it so that it stays. Another thing, and my video for Better Than Carrots or Sticks, the professional development I did this summer by myself, that's going to be coming out soon. And one of the things the book talked about is that your policies and your procedures should be grade level appropriate. So in 9th grade and high school, really, I'm sure middle school has the same issue. Electronics, AirPods, phones, all that stuff, it's a big issue because students don't know when to put it away. And so a lot of teachers are having students like put their phone in a little designated phone pocket or phone box, and then they will do something with the pocket, like that'll be their attendance, or they'll put it behind their whiteboard in our storage space so that no one can get to it. And I don't hate that idea, but I don't know that it teaches students when it's appropriate to have your electronics out and when it's not appropriate to have your electronics out. And that's a big thing about getting them to understand what it is like to be in the work world or in the college world. Because let's be honest, when we're at our teacher professional developments, or like not even teachers, anybody in the work world, you know, okay, I can check my phone really quick and then I've got to put it away. I can't have my phone out the entire meeting, or else, you know, I'm going to get in trouble, or it's just going to look very unprofessional or very rude if I have it out on date for the entire time. You know, that's just learning to be a part of a community where you are engaging with people. And so what I want to try is I made this little sign that one side says yes, one side says no. And I haven't laminated yet because I want to test the distance to see if this is the right, I don't know, font size. That's what I'm looking for. Font size. And the picture, I know the like little AirPods are not as clear, but as long as most of it's clear, that's fine. And I want to try first students telling me, okay, when are times that your electronics are appropriate? Because there are times when it's appropriate. And when are there times when it's not appropriate? And when it's not appropriate, why isn't it appropriate during that time? And when it is appropriate, what are things that you still shouldn't be doing, aka playing video games, things like that. And so I want them to come up with this kind of guideline of this is an appropriate time, this is not an appropriate time, so that it makes sense to them when they have the yes sign during independent work. Like, yeah, that's totally fine to put in your lo-fi and go. That's totally fine. And no, when we're doing independent reading books, or sustained silent reading is what some districts call it, when I am lecturing or when we're doing class activities or group work, no, those are not appropriate times to have your workout. So I want to teach them first before using this sign. So that's kind of what this is supposed to do. I'm going to test out the font to make sure that I can see it from all of the places in my classroom that students would be sitting. And then if it does work out at this font and size, then I'm going to laminate it, cut it out, put the little magnet things on the back, and bada boom, bada bing. Hopefully that is my procedure for electronics in the classroom, and I don't have to resort to making them put their phone in a box or something and put it away. And in case you didn't see my Why I Almost Quit, and if you don't check out the Better Than Carrots, or if that is not out yet, my school does not have a policy for cell phones, really. Like we kind of tried one in March, and so we all know, you know, going over half the school year without a policy and then trying to put the policy in place doesn't work. So I'm coming up with this in case we still don't have an electronic policy at my school. Okay, so it's hard to see on video, but in person, it is big enough that you can see the writing. You can kind of make out the headphones. You can kind of make out that it's a phone of some type, and this is the furthest that any student will be sitting from the board. So it's not the clearest thing, but they can see the yes, they can see the no. Obviously, I will teach them what is on there so that they know the procedures. But now that I know that size is as good as I can get it without it being invasive to my board, I'm going to laminate it, cut it out, and put the magnets on the back. It's now almost 12 o'clock. I feel myself kind of energy blah because I have not eaten yet. Like, I had an apple for breakfast, so that's not really food. And I'm kind of satisfied with where my progress is right now for this minute. So I also still need to film a few videos for my professional development series. So I want to make sure I have enough energy to do those right. The only thing that I need to do is I still need to like plug in my computer and stuff like that. I need to organize my desk area. Oh. Still a little crazy. Hopefully there was nothing there that revealed my school because I don't want to have to blur that out. But yeah, so I still need to organize my desk area, and I need to still do the table labels. But those are things that I feel like I don't need to do right at this moment. Like I can do it when we get back from pre-service and be okay. So I don't think I'm going to stay and get those done. And I'm probably not going to film getting those things done unless there's something like you have a question about, then I'll film it. But before I kind of wrap up this almost full day classroom setup video, I wanted to talk about a little cheat sheet that I'd made myself for phone extensions. So this was super helpful. I thought of it myself, but I'm sure you can find something on TPT, or maybe I'll put a PDF version of the one I use. But it's really good for yourself as well as any subs or anybody who comes into your classroom. If they don't know how to use your phone, or if you don't know how to use your phone, it'll help. So it's got the instructions to dial out of your school. So you'll put there if it's like dial 1 or dial 5 and then the area code, whatever. You'll write that in. I have in case of emergency. So if you have a kind of emergency number you're supposed to type in, my school, it's 707. I think that might be for the entire district. It's 707 that if you need help immediately in your classroom, you just hit that and then they'll send somebody up. It's got room for the school secretary, admin, attendance officer, campus supervisor, department chair, library, health office, school tech. So just those kind of important numbers that you need to know kind of immediately, and you don't want to search through the directory to have them. I like to just fill this in and then tape it by my phone. That way it's always there if I need it. And if my sub comes in, they always have those kind of important numbers in case they need some help. So that's really it for classroom setup. I might do a classroom tour. I feel like I did that last year and I don't want to be repetitive or redundant. Like I want to have things that are helping people and really interested. But I'm going to close out this classroom setup vlog here. So in the meantime and in between time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.